The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us today. In today's webinar, attendees will learn the best reporting tools to consider with an EPM deployment and see why each is paired with its respective product. It is hosted by Debra O'Connell, Principal Solutions Manager at Alithya. Now that Ranzel has become a part of Alithya, stay connected with us as we continue to offer more value-added services, including enterprise resource planning, enterprise performance management, e-business suite, and business analytics. Debra, I'll turn it over to you now.
Okay, thanks, Joey. So good morning, everyone. So we're going to talk through, we have a pretty packed agenda today, some of the challenges in reporting, go through the Oracle product landscape, talk about cloud tools, because that's what we advertise that we're going to be talking about, talk a little bit about coming up with a reporting strategy for your business, and then any questions at the end. So let's talk a little bit about the challenges in reporting and analytics. So this is what we see all the time. There's a big disconnect between analytics and actually acting on what those are. Very difficult to take the strategy that you come up with and really kind of link it and tie it back into facts, into actual numbers and values that you have. And trying to come up with different scenarios for the future is really, it's manual, it's Excel-based, it takes a lot of time. So what we're finding is when we talk to our customers and we read up on everything, that really the regular kind of KPIs and analytics aren't enough anymore. So everyone needs to do more thorough analysis of their customers, their markets, and everything to really try and figure out what's working and what's not working so that your company can perform better. So the common challenges, every single meeting that I go into, we hear the same things. You guys have 1 million reports, but really not enough insight and really kind of no idea of which reports people are using and making decisions from. Lots of different systems of record. So whether it's a disparate GL system and fixed asset systems and customers and CRM, all of that is separate. And it's really kind of tough to do reporting on top of all of it. Lots of different BI tools. People like to do shopping and, try and get the latest and greatest. And so what sometimes happens is that every single department is looking at the data slightly differently and then coming together and trying to figure out why there are differences. So yeah, so also kind of the investment in the training of people how to use these and how to get the most information, how to do the best analysis, just kind of doesn't happen a lot. So one of the things that we've always thought about kind of this Oracle suite is that because all of the tools are so similar and they go across all of the products, the training is less and people can spend more time just kind of doing their job. Okay. So this is a build slide. So kind of 3 different parts of this. So the first is this idea of performance management. I think of this as being sort of the traditional Hyperion thing. So where are we going? Will we meet our goals? How are we looking at our actuals versus what we're forecasting? And then what was the final outcome with this? Did we actually live up to what we were budgeting, and forecasting? So that's kind of the traditional Hyperion / EPM. Now, as Joey said, we went through a merger recently with Alithya, and one of the great things that brought to the table is that we now are spending a lot more time in the ERP world as well. So not as much only in the EPM kind of Hyperion world, but in ERP, so more kind of transactional general ledger type information. So these are some of the tools that we think about. Oracle Transactional BI, it's OTBI. So that's really getting into the heavy details. And then really more planning with ERP. So enterprise resource planning, we kind of think of that a lot of the time as the transactional systems, as a GL, and that's being able to get more into the details. So not as much kind of the monthly summarizations that we've always done, but getting into more daily and really figuring out how to pivot quickly so that you're more successful. And then that comes into strategy. So how can we change the business? What would benefit from that? And why did things occur? So this is what we call strategic analytics, and kind of what Oracle calls it is Oracle Analytic Cloud. So we'll get into that a little bit more. Okay. let's talk about some of the use cases. I mean, just why now in this new world, why we talk about EPM, ERP, and analytics all together. Sorry, I hate build slides. So the first kind of is EPM. So this is when we think about planning and analysis, so strategic, different kinds of performance reporting. So this isn't the actuals every day, but this is really looking forward. Another part of this is consolidation and reporting. So again, kind of the traditional, going back all these years, Hyperion, so the consolidations, the external reporting, the regulatory reporting, a lot of the times the management reporting as well. So looking kind of at that summary, higher level of data. And then we start talking about ERP too. So this is the operational reporting. So really getting into your debits and credits in the GL, maybe more daily information like sales flashes, and then getting into the sub-ledgers too. So whether it's looking at your payables outstanding, receivables, kind of the aging of all of that, that's really operational reporting. So again, from the EPM perspective, we didn't think about that as much, but it's a new world, and so we're starting to focus a lot more on that. And then this idea of operational analytics. So this is really, you know, we have this great model for ITM. So if we're looking at IT costing, looking at returns on investments, billings and bookings, so all of that kind of analytics around analyzing the day-to-day operations. And then strategic analysis or analytics. So looking at different scenarios, modeling, trying to figure out, you know, for when FX movements happen a lot, like how does that impact the business? What kind of hedging should we be doing? Should we be looking at the mix of our products? Maybe there are certain ones that cost less and sell more, stuff like that. So really looking at the strategic, so not from a high level, but really like a deeper dive. So all of this comes together. Okay, let's talk about products. So this is, I always kind of joke that this is a messy slide because there's a lot going on this slide, but there's a lot of great information in here as well. We look up at the top, these are the different audiences for these kinds of reports that we're looking at. So whether it's management, owners, so, you know, partners and government people want to get all of this information. And then we have this whole EPM suite here where we have the performance type reporting, financial close, planning and forecasting, strategy, profitability management. So you'll notice on here that we have a lot of boxes. The boxes are the on-premises versions, I guess, and then the cloud are the cloud products. So we kind of have both products here. As everybody knows, Oracle is really pushing everyone to flow to the cloud. And so we have both of these products on here, but really I'm going to focus more on the cloud products because that's really more of the future. And then on either side of this are kind of the operational systems. So these are your CRM, your customer management, any kind of human capital, that kind of stuff. And then on the right is more of your debits and credits, your GL and your sub-ledgers. And then kind of we have some of these products too. So the ERP, different products, and there's several different flavors of Oracle ERP, the accounting hub, and then Oracle transactions as well. And then Oracle kind of over to the side, but it's integrated with all this, are there different tools. So whether it's the transactional BI or OAC, Oracle Analytics Cloud, lots of different tools here as well. And then I just wanted to take a quick slide for our EPM friends. I know that we love at Oracle to throw out a ton of acronyms. So I just kind of wanted to just kind of do a quick level set, which is when we're talking about consolidations and close management, kind of the old name was HFM, the new, when I say FCCS, that's the HFM consolidation replacement. When we talk about planning, we talk about PBCS and EPBCS. Kind of the difference is that EPBCS is combining the planning, all of the different modules or processes, and the strategic finance into one great product. Profitability and cost management cloud, PCMCS. I think of that really as allocations, but it's so much more. So the profitability, account reconciliations or ARCs. And then this new product that really is the reporting of the future is EPRCS. So that's narrative and multi-source reporting. So a lot of the tools we're going to talk about today work with the on-premises versions as well, but really kind of the focus is these cloud products because that's what Oracle's putting all the development dollars into, all the R&D. Okay, so let's jump into it. Let's talk about some of these products. So what we did here was we took kind of the left-hand side is all of the different types of reporting that you could do. And then going across the top are the different products, and that's why I did the little glossary right now, so we know what these different products, what the acronyms are. So really for performance reporting, that's PBCS and EPRCS, and then OAC, which is the Oracle Analytics Cloud. External reporting, you can use FCCS, EPRCS, tax reporting. So this is really, when I'm talking about these applications, this is the application that's coming up with these numbers, and then there's going to be a reporting tool that's sitting on top of it. Reconciliations is in EPRCS. Profitability analysis is in PCMCS, and OAC is going to take a look at that. Narrative reporting, which is probably a new term for people, I'll talk about that in a couple minutes, that's EPRCS. Operational reporting is ERP and OTBI, and then operational analytics and strategic analysis, or strategic analytics. And so that's really PCMCS and PBCS. So we're doing a little bit of both. We have kind of the check marks in here just reminding us of the ERP apps. I'm not going to focus on these tools as much. And then OAC is the analytics cloud, and some people think of it as the enhanced S-Base as well, because there's a huge S-Base component in there too. Okay, so we'll look at what tools are available. So these are kind of the list of tools that I'm going to take you through in more detail. So just getting an idea that in the EPM cloud, we have all these different ones, so Smartview and FR, management reports. In the ERP cloud, we have this on here just to get people aware and get you thinking about the fact that a lot of these tools work for both. So Smartview and financial reports, BI Publisher, and dashboarding, they're in both of them, in the EPM and the ERP cloud too. So as you're thinking about kind of the next generation, it's really nice to remember that if your users already know how to use Smartview, as you move to the ERP cloud, they're going to be able to use that same exact Smartview to pull data into spreadsheets. So it's actually something really nice to think about. And then the OAC, so the analytics cloud, also uses Smartview, BI Publisher, dashboarding, dashboard data visualizer. So lots of different options here. And the idea here is that we can use the same tools for multiple products. You don't have to constantly learn something new as you're trying to report data off of a purpose-built system. So then the different data sources too, we have this in here too, just kind of reminding which ones are S-Base. Relational really is only BI Publisher. Big data, if you have any of that, that's in OAC. And then application specific. So when we're talking about whether it's like an FCCS or PBCS, that would be application specific, so we can use all these different tools on them. So these are the different tools, and we're going to go through them one by one. Okay, so the first one is Smartview. I would be very surprised if there's anyone on the phone who doesn't already use Smartview or know what it is, but we'll go through what it is. So it's drag and drop analysis in Excel. You can put formulas in there for pulling data in, for sending data out. This is similar to pivot tables with lots of different dimensions, capabilities for drilling. The same interface across products, so it is the exact same add-in that you're installing, and then it can go against all these different sources. You can use regular Excel functions, so there's very complicated modeling functions that you use in Excel. You can use them in Smartview because it's Excel. You can save different queries or reports and then use them later. So let's say you have a query that you set up and you have January. You can pull that up next month and change it to February, and everything will refresh. Very cool. This can pull data also into Word and PowerPoint. So you can create queries in Excel and put them in Word or PowerPoint and have them automatically update as the numbers change. One of the nice things, this is new, is that it's new with the dashboards. You can open up reports and dashboards directly in here from Smartview. And some of the applications, you can open up forms or grids. So in FCCS or in planning and some of the on-premises products, you can do that. And then there's an interface too, so a different ribbon will show up, but you can manage your EPRCS, FCCS close manager, and supplemental data in here. And then I put little pictures down here to denote all the different sources of data that you can use. So all the cloud products, on-premises EPM, and then ERP cloud. So again, so we have a lot of customers who perhaps have HFM on-premises and PBCS in the cloud. the same Smartview can be used for both of them without having to do any additional installs or anything, it's really great, because if you're still in hybrid mode, you can have one Smartview and it's very easy. You don't have to worry about version control and stuff like that. And then the ERP cloud uses Smartview. Okay, next one, financial reports, or FR. I feel like FR gets a bad name. Hasn't been updated in a lot of years now. So this is for your production published reports. They're pixel perfect. You can make these super dynamic, lots of lists and stuff like that, so that you're not constantly maintaining the reports. It's not a developer tool. It's really dragging and dropping. Once we train users in it, they're able to really create very pretty, for lack of a better term, useful reports quite easily. They can be generated in HTML, PDF, and Excel. They can be interactive. So in demos, I'm constantly showing how we will drill on a number and then maybe have it open up another report, bringing the point of view together. It will let us drill and expand a number. So if I'm at total sales, I can click on it and show all the detail of it. Very nice formatting and calculations. This is where you can create books of reports. So let's say you want to run P&L and balance sheet for every single one of your entities. You can set that up in there and have it dynamic. In the cloud version, this is fully browser-based and in 11.124 of EPM. So there's no longer any kind of local installation to be able to use a financial report studio. It's all browser-based, really, really nice. For some of the products, so for tax reporting and FCCS, they both will have some pre-built reports loaded. So this whole idea of Oracle creating all of these artifacts that you can leverage immediately, quicker implementations. So there are pre-built financial FR reports. And then this is embedded in the cloud product. So it kind of comes automatically. There's no separate installation. So FCCS, tax, PBCS, and PCMCS all use financial reports, and then on-premises EPM as well uses the financial reports. That tends to be more of a financial reporting studio, but it's all the same look and feel and the exact same functionality. And if we move somebody from, let's say, on-premises planning into PBCS and we don't make any changes at all, lift and shift, we can also take those financial reports and migrate them over without having to really do anything. We just have to change a data source and we're good to go. So this is financial reports. EPRCS. Now this is really the newest product. This is where all of the development money is going, is into this new report writer. As I said, financial reports sometimes gets a bad name. EPRCS is the latest and greatest. There are three main components of EPRCS. The first is management reporting, which is a new report writer. Get into that in a bit. The second is what we call narrative reporting. When I think of narrative reporting, I think another good name for it is collaborative reporting. So it's this idea of people coming together with lots of text and commentary and coming up with reporting packages. And then the third part is this disclosure management piece, which is the XBRL reporting, if you want to do that as well. So some of the use cases really is any repetitive narrative reporting requiring workflow. So if it can be Word, it can be PowerPoint. So if you think of any kind of like board document that you're creating every month and everyone has their little piece of the puzzle, this is what we would use that for. So it's very cool. Okay, a little deeper dive. So this is a management reporting piece. So this is a report writer of the future. Right now, this is a separate product. What we're hearing is that this is going to be bundled next year in with some of the cloud products. Some safe harbor applies, but this is going to be in there. It's the report writer of the future that Oracle is making all their investment in. There is near parity with financial reports right now. So the only thing that's kind of missing right now is a batching capability, kind of the same way that FR does it, but that's coming as well. So it's the management reporting hub for supported Oracle sources, and I do have the sources down here. So it's all of the EPM cloud products, on-premises Essbase, and the ERP cloud. So kind of different flavors of this. So really with OAC, which is kind of what's considered Essbase of the future, OAC, if you want production reports out of OAC, management reporting is the way that you're going to do that. What's cool too, similar to financial reports, is if I have a report and I want to bring it over to OAC. If I've had an S-base cube that I ported over to OAC with no changes, I can then take that FR report and import it up into EPRCS, and it's going to convert it. I think it's something like 85%, something like that. You may have to upload some fonts or something like that, but the nuts and bolts of it are going to be available. So it's a really easy migration. Let's see what else. This can, if you're doing tax reporting, this can generate your country by country XML for reporting. So that's a really nice feature. And then it's all integrated with the narrative reporting process, which I'm going to talk about next. So you can see some of the examples in here. Very nice report. So it's grids and graphs. It's a similar kind of drag and drop dimensional setup. The filters are kind of similar to FR, but it's a lot easier to use. It's kind of not as quirky as FR can kind of be. So this is the reporting of the future. The narrative reporting piece, this is a collaborative. So this is document creation, where you have lots of people working maybe on a board book or a 10Q, something like that, and pulling everything together with an approval workflow. This includes a limited S-base license. It's really very scaled down S-base, but it does come with that if there's additional sources that you want to use. But the nice thing here is you can pull in data from Smartview, from the management reports I just talked about, from FR reports, any kind of embedded Excel, and more importantly, lots of text. So if you think about an annual report and there's a lot of verbiage, and maybe you have a couple numbers that you want in there, so you want the net income number pulled into the text, that can get pulled in there seamlessly so that you can automatically do a refresh. Instead of collaborating through email and phone calls and all of that stuff, you can collaborate with narrative reporting right within EPRCS. So people can make comments on certain things in the reports, maybe fonts or typos or any of that. They can make comments on there, and they're available for everyone to look at. So this is a really neat, nice product, the EPRCS, the narrative reporting piece. And then just quickly, the disclosure management piece too, so XBRL tagging for SEC type reporting. Just throwing it out there, not going to discuss it that much. Okay, BI Publisher. So this is for managing and publishing documents. This is for high volumes. So if you have data that you're pulling maybe into kind of financial statements or memos, kind of not the kind of grids and charts that we're used to with a lot of the financial reports. So maybe more transactional. This is for relational data sources. They can be generated in Excel, PDFs, RTFs, so rich text format, and HTML. This is a developer tool, though. The other ones are more moving, like clicking and dragging, drag and drop. This is SQL generation, but it's very powerful for the developers to use. I might just point out that this can be used with FCCS for the supplemental data and closed manager pieces of FCCS, so the non-S-based pieces. Any reports we want to get out of the account reconciliation cloud, we can use BI Publisher for. OAC, so the OAC cloud, and then on-premises EPM, you can run BI Publisher reports with that again. But again, this is more of a developer tool as opposed to a finance person. But for the developers, when you have these kind of requirements, this is a really powerful tool. Okay, I have to point out the EPM dashboards. So these are kind of like composite forms from planning, text grids and charts. Very easy to create. It's based on forms that have been created, and you're moving them around. It's mobile enabled, so if you want to look at some of your reporting right on your phone, you can do that. You can drill into these as much as you want, change points of view. Very securable, so you can either secure the forms, the entire dashboard, or the underlying data. FCCS and EPBCS, and tax as well, have predefined ones that are preloaded in there, so you have a starting point to look at. And starting this month, you can open these directly into Excel too, which is really cool. So these come with all the EPM Cloud products, is what these are used for. So even EPRCS has their own dashboards where you're coming up with it. FCCS has not only kind of the financial dashboards, but compliance ones as well, to see what stage of the close you're in, how many supplemental data forms have been submitted, etc. And then infolets is something just to point out. These are in FCCS, TRCS, and PBCS, and the ERP Cloud. And these are just kind of point-in-time quick analysis. So these are like light dashboards, a couple different chart types. They're static, and the users can configure them. So just kind of another reporting tool on your back pocket. And then OAC. So this is strategic analytics. These are custom dashboards and visualizations. There's kind of two flavors we're going to talk about. The first is, as we've said, this is sometimes thought of as the SBase, the next generation of SBase, but it gives you the ability to interact with the data, coherence, consistency, and sharing of all the data. You can pull different spreadsheets in there, have different inputs. So this is a really nice feature of it. And then the data visualization piece, which is the what they say researching and discovering, but really it's kind of being able to create your own queries in a click and drag way, nice and easy, and drill into the data and look for differences, look for good stuff, and really kind of get an easy way to analyze the data. So there's kind of different parts of this. You basically can take practically any source and pull it up into OAC. It's very easy to do, whether it's a spreadsheet, all different types of analysis, and it's really great to use. So this is OAC. And just a couple pictures. So you prepare the data. So all of these pre-built connections in here, I mean, you can pull in something from your Google Drive and look at it, and then create all of these great visualizations. So whether it's a more hard-coded one where you have it set up and different people are coming in and looking at it, or if you want to, on the fly, have some kind of chart that you're pulling in different filters and stuff. This is not coders, this is actual end users who are able to do this, so it's really nice. Okay, and then just a review, I have the chart in here just kind of where I had all the clouds at the bottom showing where this is, so where the different pieces are and what kind of works with what. And then lastly, just talking about kind of creating a reporting strategy. So in terms of technology, these are the different questions you want to ask yourself. And we have kind of, we want to be up here in understanding that we have nice strategic reporting, that it's dynamic, and that we can get into all of that. So in terms of our technology, who the people are, not only who's creating and developing the reports, but who's reading them, and then what business processes do we want to use in here. So all of this is what you folks have to kind of come up with, and we can help you do that. So one of the things that we offer is this idea of a reporting assessment where we come down, we come in and we sit with you and really understand all the different types of reporting that you want to do, what your future state is, because it's not always just saying these are the reports we have today, we want to look at them in a new technology. It's really saying, okay, these are the reports we're using today, but they're not helping us. So just understanding that, coming up with what tools you should be looking at, and just kind of the best way to make all of this work. Okay, with that said, Joey, it's 11:30. Are there any questions? I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Deborah, thank you. Thanks so much.
No problem.
Okay. Any questions, just to highlight, any questions can be emailed to us at infosolutions@alithya.com, and we will provide a response. A recording of this webinar will be available on our website shortly, where you may also find a number of previous webinars posted. Just to give you our email address again for sending inquiries, it's infosolutions@alithya.com. We hope you gained insight from today's webinar. Please visit our website to learn about and register for upcoming webinars, and follow us on social media to get alerts about upcoming events, training, and webinars. Thank you to our audience for joining us, and thanks to Deborah for sharing your knowledge and expertise during the presentation. This concludes today's webinar.